AK Marv produced it.
Hey everybody, welcome back. All right, y'all. I'm about to clean my floors. I gotta wax my floors. I've already washed them, mopped them up. I don't know if y'all do this, but whenever I wax my floors, I mop them first, with water and stuff, and floor cleaner, and then once it dries, I go back and I use wax. Do y'all do that? Let me know in the comments if you do that, because it just makes sense to me to clean them up first, get all the dirt and stuff off the floor, and then wax them. So that's what I'm getting ready to do really quick, before everybody start coming in and the kitchen start getting a lot of traffic up in here. So y'all gonna see me moving around a lot, but hopefully y'all can hear me. My mop already wet. So y'all, I wanted to talk to y'all for a minute about Strongmommy Chrissy's video. I saw that this morning, where she was talking about her baby daddy ain't ish, and she put in the thumbnail that she was disappointed. I see one of her children, I think that was Junebug, went to the hospital. He had to go to the emergency room because he swallowed a penny. And, y'all, stuff like that happens. Kids, they do stuff. And, I'm glad that she was able to, do the Heimlich on him and was able to get it up. But, she was able to do the Heimlich on him, but they said the penny was lodged in his esophagus. So, yeah, y'all, that's scary. That was scary as heck. I've never had that situation happen to me, but my oldest son, I did have something happen to him. He woke up one morning and y'all couldn't move. I thought he was playing around. I think he was like about 10 or 11 years old when this happened. It was a Monday morning. It was coming right off the Labor Day weekend. And I'm up, trying to get everybody. It wasn't Monday, it was Tuesday, because Monday was Labor Day. And I'm up trying to get everybody ready because, I got to be at work. And so I went in I called him and told him to get up. And you know how kids are. They still laying in the bed. So I'm, in the bathroom. And I'm still not hearing him move around. So I go in there. And I'm like, boy, didn't I tell you get your tail up? And honey, he said, Mama, I can't. And I'm like, you can't? What you mean you can't? He was like, Mama, I can't. So I was like, boy, you better stop playing with me. So, honey, I went over there and went to pull him up out the bed, and he screamed so loud. He was like, Mama, I can't move my legs. Yeah, I instantly started panicking. I'm like, what you mean you can't move your legs? So, of course, I knew he wasn't playing. So I tried to get him out the bed, and y'all, was able to, get him out the bed. And my son, he's a big kid. So he got up. I got him on the side of the bed, and I was like, come on, baby, try to stand up. So I took his hands and, pulled him up on his feet. And, girl, as soon as I let his hands go, he collapsed back down to the bed. Y'all, I started screaming. Called the emergency room. Ambulance came, rushed my baby to the hospital. And they did all kind of tests and stuff. And they were thinking, because he had played football that weekend, they maybe thought he had a strain or something like that. So I ended up taking him back home. Y'all, about an hour after I got back to the house, his blood work came back. The emergency room doctor called me and said, ma'am, I need you to get him back here immediately. So yeah, I rushed my baby, now I'm panicking. So I rushed my baby back to the hospital, and they ended up admitting him. Child, he was in the children's hospital for 2 weeks. So basically what happened to him, y'all, he had cat scratch fever. Had never heard of it in my life. Y'all know cat scratch fever, that's an old, back in the 70s type situation. But I called my granny, and my granny explained to me what it was. But basically what it did, it affected the lymph nodes in his hip groin area, which made him not able to walk. You talking about the scariest, one of the scariest times in my life. So I felt Strongmommy Chrissy there. Like I said, other than that, there wasn't too many other times I had to take my kids to emergency room other than, common cold, strep throats, whatever like that. But even then, I didn't take them there for that. I took them to their doctor, but I felt her on that. So, being a single mom is not, it ain't fun, okay? It ain't fun. Although I wasn't single when that happened, but you know, in my mind, when I started raising my kids, I always put it in my mind, even though after when I got married, I always put it in my mind that I'm a single mother, because in my mind, that helped me stay motivated, to stay, you know, to keep myself more independent on myself. You know, although I had a mate, but I always thought like, because nothing's promised. So I always put myself in the mind where I got this. Regardless of who was around, I got this. And y'all, that's what kept me strong. So, y'all, she was talking, like, we're going back to Strongmommy Chrissy, and she was talking about how, you know, she called his mom to let her know that, Junebug, you know, had to go to the hospital for his, you know, for what happened. And she said she texted her. That's what she said. She said it was late. She didn't expect for the mama to text her back, but the mama did. And she basically like, what, she said the mama said, what's going on, or whatever like that. And, you know, she, you know, told her what was going on. Strongmommy Chrissy said the daddy never did call. He never did call back. All right, you guys, I had to let the floors dry, but let me finish my conversation. So, yeah, so she said that Strongmommy Chrissy said that dad never called back, you know, and y'all, she said a lot in that video. That video was kind of long, and I took the video where she was really speaking out to him. You know, I'm going to tell you one thing about that. You know, we talked about her and contacting the mom, and I understand why she contacted the mom, because she don't have a number to contact him. She's never met the dad or the mom in person. She's never met his mom in person. And to me, that would have been red flag number one for me with continuing a relationship with him, because it sounds like she doesn't have a relationship with anyone else in the family, you know, outside of him. I don't know if he has sisters, brothers, cousins, aunts, but she never mentions anybody else. And, that would have been the red flag to me. Like, when a man don't bring you home to meet his mama, yeah, that's a problem. You know, when they was living in Colorado and him from Texas, yeah, Colorado and Texas is not far from each other. Yeah, it's nothing but a plane ride, or you can drive there, depending on how far down in Texas he is. You know, you could just drive there. And he never thought enough to take his wife, or at first his girlfriend, and then especially once she had the baby, you know, you never thought enough to take your wife to meet your mama face to face. That would have been a red flag for me right there. And you know, she, you know, was talking about, you know, basically he's just, you know, doing his own thing. She said he probably laying up in somebody else's house, driving a car, and some other woman taking care of him. Well, here's the thing though, ladies, that behavior that she just said that he's probably doing was obviously the behavior that he was doing with her. Okay, I don't think he left her and then started doing that, because she had to get that scenario from somewhere. And if you tolerated it, as long as you tolerated it, doesn't mean it's going to change because he left you. Like, that behavior is going to continue. You know, women, first and foremost, we have to understand, we have to realize what our self-worth is. When you don't validate your self-worth, you can't expect for anybody else to. I'm going to give you guys an example. My oldest kid's father, you know, he was not the best person, okay? And I went through hell and high water with that man. And I did it because we had these children, okay? And one day, a really good friend of mine, we've been friends for years. One day she said to me, she said, Tasha, why do you allow him to treat you like that? Like, why are you still there? Why are you still in that relationship? And I said to her, I said, because of these kids. She said, okay, well, just like that's your reason, why can't that be his reason to be with you? And when she said that, I was like, you're right. See, I was holding on to something that wasn't the same reason why he should have held on to it. So because we had these kids wasn't the reason why he was trying to hold on and make the relationship work. Why should I be the reason? And you guys, after that conversation, it's when I really started waking up. You know, I thank God for the friends that I had when I was going through that trying time with him, because they helped me through it. They didn't judge me. They didn't ridicule me. You know, they helped me through it. And once I started realizing that, that's when I started waking up, pulling myself together. I started doing things to make my life better, because I knew that I was getting ready to walk away from that relationship and I was going to be on my own. Because if he wasn't doing anything when we was together, I definitely knew he wasn't going to do anything while we was apart. And that's what, you know, I encourage any woman to do that. Like, don't stay in a relationship thinking it's going to get better, because it's not. One thing you have to understand is you cannot raise a man. He has to come to you already full grown. There's a lot of women out here that feel like they can change people, change men. Yeah, baby, you cannot change anybody that does not want to be changed. If a man comes to you no good, yeah, that's probably how he's going to stay. Because he's gotten away with it for so long, you is not going to change anything. Now, there are special situations where, you know, a man just wake up one morning and feel like, you know what, I need to treat this woman like the woman she is. But there's a lot of situations where that moment never comes. And what you got to understand is you cannot waste your time. Because that's what you're doing. If y'all notice, when men feel like they don't want that relationship anymore, baby, they jump ship. They don't sit around and wait and hoping things to get better. When they see it ain't working out, baby, boom, they on to the next. Us as women need to start taking that same philosophy. Baby, don't waste your time. And then when you say, well, Tasha, what you mean you can't raise a man? Let me tell you something. When you allowing your man to be in your home and he's not working, he's not contributing, he's not doing anything to make y'all situation better, baby, that's you enabling him, raising him, enabling him, okay? That's never what you want. Let me tell you something. When I left that situation with my kid's father, I knew that I had to do some growing up myself. Before I could go off into any other relationships, I had to do some soul searching. Because, you know, us as women, we always say, well, I need a man that can do for me. Well, at the end of the day, y'all, don't you think a man wants somebody that can do for them? Like we want men to bring something to the table, baby. We got to bring something to the table, too. You can't just bring your tail. You just can't bring that to the table. Because guess what? All women got tails, okay? All women got something in between their legs. Baby, you got to be something special, okay? You got to stand out. So when I was in that situation, I started doing things to better myself. I took some classes. I got a better job. I got my own car. Because at the time, I didn't have my own car. He had the car. And I had to wait on him to come do me. I was young, okay? Didn't know no better. But guess what? That situation helped me to do better. When going through that, because sometimes, y'all, we got to go through things to learn things, right? And when I went through that relationship, I knew what I didn't want in the next relationship. So what I did is I started making myself better, because when I started dating and I seen the next man that I felt like was the one, which is my husband, I felt like I needed to bring just as much to the table as I was wanting him to bring to the table. Okay, so that's what we have to know, women. At the end of the day, you can't expect to find this real good man and you got a lot of flaws going on with yourself. Now, we all got flaws, but at the end of the day, baby, 1 + 1 makes 2. If you want him to bring some positives to the table, you got to be able to bring them positives too. Because if you're bringing negatives on top of his positive, that's not gonna match. Okay, so. What I would say, you know, I took Strongmommy's conversation as not just for her husband. I think she was talking about all those daddies, because like she mentioned, she said all y'all. So when she said all y'all, and you gotta go watch the video. When she said all y'all, I felt like she was talking to all the daddies. But I will say this. I do understand Strongmommy Chrissy vlogs her life, and I'm not saying she shouldn't. If that's what obviously it's benefiting her, okay? But what I would have not vlogged was the whole incident with her child, having to go to the hospital and the reasons why. Because I'm going to tell you why. you know, with her other child that she said she did a video about a week ago that she's wanting to go back to court to get full custody of the child that lives in Colorado. Unfortunately, that video right there, any good attorney could use that video against her. They could use that video against her by stating, because the amount of children that she has and how she keeps saying she doesn't have any help, they would say that bringing that other child into the equation could heighten her anxiety of not having any help. The dad, I'm assuming the daddy probably doesn't have as many, and I don't know what his situation is, but y'all, they can use it. A real good attorney can use that video against her. So that's what I'm saying, y'all. You gotta be careful about the type of stuff you put out here, especially with her going through that current situation. Like, for all we know, that could have been the reason why the man got custody of his child. Like, because she said she didn't have an attorney, but he did. So whoever that attorney was, he argued something with the judge that persuaded the judge to give that father full custody. I don't think it was just because she moved out of town, because people move in and out of town all the time. Like, that jobs transfer people, you know, that happens all the time. So I don't, again, but y'all, I don't know the severity of their case. I just know what she says. But I do know people who have went through situations. I got a couple girlfriends who went through situations like that. And, you know, for one of my girlfriends, that was the attorney's argument. She had 7 kids, and one of the children, she relocated from Indiana to Atlanta. And that was the argument that the dad used. He got an attorney, and that was the argument that he used. Because she has so many children, which, again, that's not fair. I'm not saying that's fair, y'all. So don't say I'm not saying that's fair. But that was the argument the attorney used, and he won. That the dad, my homegirl's baby daddy, that's the argument he used, and he won. Now, although I think they have a situation like Strongmommy Chrissy and her child's father do, where they share custody, and he comes for the holidays and summers and stuff like that. They do have that situation, so all I'm saying is, if I was her, I probably wouldn't have put that video up there, knowing that she's going through that situation right now. And like I said, y'all, a good attorney could use that against her. But you know, I just think that Strongmommy Chrissy she says she doesn't want him anymore. She said once she had the baby, the feelings she had when she was pregnant, she doesn't have anymore. And y'all, we go through that. We know when we're pregnant, y'all, we super emotional when we pregnant. But once we had that baby, it's like we a whole new person. And the love that we did have, baby, will soon go away. Okay, especially if we dealing with a volatile situation like she did with her husband not being around when she was pregnant. But you know, I think that video, y'all, was meant for him. It wasn't, I mean, she put it out there for us to see, but she was really talking to him. And unfortunately, if this man won't take the time to at least give her a contact phone number, y'all, what's a phone number? If people nowadays, honey, I don't care if he is laid up with some other woman. There is a time where he's not with that woman, okay? That they're not adjoined to the hip. What would be wrong with giving your children's mother your contact phone number? So in case of emergencies, she could contact you. You know? Y'all, I'm going to be honest with you. The behavior that she says he having now, I believe that was his behavior all along. I believe he was never a really good person to have in your home, okay? And Strongmommy Chrissy knew that. Right? But because she loved him, y'all know, honey, love will make us blind. Because the love she had for him, she chose to ignore the signs. Women, you have to know what you want and what you are willing to tolerate. Some of us have a higher tolerance level, and some of us do not. Okay? But what I would encourage any and every woman to do is don't put up with the behavior that you wouldn't even accept from anybody else, right? See, y'all, when we say we love somebody, we get paralyzed in that love, right? Don't let that love outweigh the way your reasoning skills, the way you need to think, because if you love once, you definitely will love again, okay? You most definitely will. But if somebody can't meet you halfway, then you don't need to go all the way for them, period. Let me tell you something. When you go into a relationship, baby, know what you're wanting and know what you're willing to tolerate. Don't just go into situations blindly. See, y'all, us as women, we allow ourselves to settle. That's our biggest problem, y'all. We allow ourselves to settle for less. When you go shopping for a car, do you go buy the first car you see? No. When you go to the car lot, you know what your price range is, right? You stay within that price range. And when you go to the cars that's within that price range, you check out all the cars. You get in the car, you look around, you look at the interior, you look up under the roof, you look in the trunk. Like, you check them cars out. You check what options the cars have. Like, y'all, we more selective with the type of cars that we drive than the type of men that we date. Y'all, we need to start being more selective. Just like you ain't gonna drive no any old car, why you gonna date no any old type of man? All right, y'all, until the next time I see y'all in the next video. Remember, y'all, sub what you love.
AK Marv produced it.